All right, guys. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for Betta Banter Part 2. And before we go ahead, just want everyone to know that this call is being recorded so that we can share everything that Suma and Amrit talk about today with everyone who's not able to join live. And it's called Betta Banter very correctly because today we were two people who are going to create a lot of banter because they wear so many hats. Time to embarrass both of you. Suma, I'll start off with you. So, Suma is a chemist by training, which was not something that I knew at all. She's worked in sustainable water management. And of course, when it comes to the outdoors, like most climbers, she's unable to stick to one thing. So she's doing so many things. She's a trail runner, a long distance cyclist, a long distance swimmer. And by long distance, let me give you context. She has swum the Palk Strait in 2023. Thank you so much for those supporting visuals. And well, in the world of climbing, of course, that world got a massive boost to exist because of her generation. She's been an active part of developing the climbing scene in Bangalore. That's Suma for you. And then I'll come to Amrit. Amrit, in your case, I think Suma said it best. She said, and I don't know what all he does. So, because he does so much, I personally think that with Amrit, you need one of those academic mnemonics we used to use in school, right? You know, you'd create those wacky acronyms to try and figure out everything that Amrit does. So, I'm going to give it a shot. He's a chef, and that I know is something that he's studied for. Other
Oh my
than that,
God.
of course, he's a climber. He's an outdoors guide, an endurance athlete, a trainer, a rescue pro, and I wouldn't run out of words in this case. I think with Amrit, what happens is you hazard running out of time. So that's that's a lot of Amrit in a lot of different
Wow.
backgrounds. Yes.
Well,
So
water and land.
I was just going to say, you know what? It's strange that you both, we are talking about you both in the context of climbing, but you both are also water babies and very extensive ones. You think there's a reason you get attracted to both these elements? What's the commonality there?
I learned swimming first, um, and then I got into climbing. That was much later in life. So I don't think there's much common. It's just
No
that we love
correlation.
nature. Just go out there, get whatever you get, work with it because you just want to be there. So that's mine.
Yeah. Same for me. I mean, I started swimming. My mom is from Alapi, which is a backwater. It's just water everywhere, and that's pretty much excited me. And I love the water. I've been swimming from a long time. And then I got into climbing, of course. But I can't do without water, so I definitely need to be swimming.
Well, I have to say it was very interesting to, sit down and write questions for both of you because despite the fact that you, well, belong to different generations and you are very different, once you sit down to compare the two of you, but still there's a lot of veins that come together for both of you. Suma, I'll start with you. You both are pioneers in your own way. And Suma, you chose to climb when there was barely anything available with regard to the sport, either in terms of knowledge or, accessories that you needed. What drew you to climbing at that time? And actually, when did you start climbing?
The first, the way I went into climbing, I had no clue about climbing at all. Um, I think in the late 80s, I was watching TV and I got to know about trekking. And then I had a cousin with me. I said, hey, we should find out if there is any kind of trek that is happening, I mean, any club or something. So the next day he comes and says, there's one very close by, which is called Spark in Third Block Stadium. So I said, okay, let's go. And went there and they said, okay, we're not going trekking, but this weekend we are going climbing to Turahalli. I said, okay, I don't know what that is, but let me try. And so that's how I got introduced into climbing. But much later is when I picked it up a lot more. So I was in college, but I started climbing regularly, I would say more after I kind of finished my college and then, took it up as something that I liked and going outdoors and climbing. Yeah.
This is a question that's bound to get attached to you because you were not only climbing at that time, but you're also a woman who was climbing at that time. Was there anything specific to just your social context when you started climbing? Were there any specific challenges that you faced because of that?
Not social challenges. I am very happy that my mom would never stop me from doing anything, and she still doesn't. So I am very conscious. She's gotten old, and I am very consciously making sure I don't stop her from doing what she wants, though I'm worried about her. And so, no, it comes back to you at some point. So, but
Yes.
that's something that you need to see as to what they did, and then now you need to let them be. And going further, I don't know. I think I've just been in the best of the places, and I've had such great people all around, family, friends, or otherwise. So I think my dad once mentioned, "Oh, only you, girl, whatever." My mom just kind of, I told my mom, and she said, "You go." So that's it. I knew who I have to talk to. So
Cheat code unlocked.
yes.
And
So
Amrit, you're from a totally different generation, of course, than Suma.
Yeah.
And by the time you decided to climb, there was a lot more awareness. There was a lot more accessibility to the sport. But despite that, you chose a pretty unconventional way of entering into it. Why don't you let everyone know how you found your way to climbing?
Well, I mean, for me, I was introduced to it. There are these corporate activities that they take you to a park to and take you out rappelling. And that's how I first saw it when I was in college once. And I was intrigued by it by looking at the anchors and, the ropes there. And they were just, yeah, let go. We've got you. And I'm like, oh, what? So, yeah, that's where I got intrigued. But of course, work and everything kept me busy. But when COVID happened, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna just stay home and not do anything. So I decided to learn. So I invested in a harness, a rope, and 6 carabiners and a belly device. And that's where I started my systems alone. For the most time, I climbed alone for a while. I learned on my own, and then I ended up meeting the community, BCI and Sohan and Nikhil and all of that. Subbu, Ishan, these are the first people I met from like who are climbers, other than myself, because I was just self-taught mostly and trained, and I learned all the things at that moment. So that's where I started and got into it. And I came up with my own systems because I didn't have the gear, I didn't have stuff, but I figured my own things, and I was just living at one of the crags and yeah, climbing and
Uh,
just cooking food.
I was just going to ask, no, don't summarize it so much because do tell everyone how long you were at the said crag and what were you doing and in under what circumstances were you discovered by the other climbers?
Well, I was just living there on and off with a friend or two who I would invite and just live there. I had a stash in a cave of water and supplies that I would just replenish each in and out. But I would mainly camp, wake up, cook my breakfast and my lunch, put it up in the tree, go rig, climb, figure out my own climbing systems. And yeah, I stayed there for a while. I mean, a lot of time during COVID, I was living outside, just out there because either you're stuck at home or you're living out there. So out there felt better. So yeah, 4 5 days easily at a stretch, and then you come back to replenish stuff and go back. That's pretty much how I got into climbing. And at that time, I was documenting climbs because I didn't know about guidebooks. I didn't know where climbs would be. And the only thing I knew was mountain project that I saw. So I was uploading things, trails, all of that. And then when I met the community, I realized that, well, it's all documented for 35 years. So yeah, that was really good because getting to know the history, like Suma going and climbing and like getting to know the names, like I'm fascinated by that. So that was something that got me stuck into it. Yeah.
So, how did you discover the crag itself? Was it just a blind shot, or did you speak to someone? And did you, was there some method to the madness there?
No, actually, it wasn't through climbing. I went to Yedamadu the first time trail running, and with a friend who we took some other friends and we went like hiking, and we went to the cave there and we explored it and all that. And that's my first time long ago, and that's really long ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then a few years later, I went trail running on my own. Then I took my brother there. We went to the cave, camped. So that's how I started going to Yedamadu. I didn't know it was a climbing area. I just didn't know, like, yeah.
A good job. You found the right place, even though you didn't know what you were looking for. So, well
Ye-
done.
Yeah. I mean, a bunch of places were like that. I bumped into. There's this rock in the middle of the road when you drive from Kerala to Bangalore. And I ended up just stopping there and asking my brother's wife, who was just, they were just newly married. And we were driving my mom and her and me. And I told them, hey, can you just drop me here on the road and just come pick me up in the evening, maybe? And that's how I went to this place called Shulagiri that apparently there are routes on long
Mm.
ago. And I went there, I rappelled down 3 pitches. I figured some top rope climbing on it, like top rope soloing system on it. And I came back, I posted it, and that's when others were like, oh, how'd you go there? So yeah, that's
Suma, what was that ooh about for Shulagiri?
Tulagiri. Yeah, beautiful.
So you've climbed there, or
No, I've cycled. So when I
whoa.
used to cycle, I used to go around. So that's how I know Tulagiri.
That's far.
see, I said long distance cyclist
Yeah.
in my introduction. Just out of curiosity, Amrit, did your family come back to pick you up, or did they just abandon you?
They did. They thought I was crazy, but they did. Imagine the scene where, my brother is married and his wife comes home and I'm training and, I've reached the level of training from like safe heights and all that. And now I'm out of the balcony from the first floor of the house. And that's the scene. So that was the scare that I put at home.
Good way to introduce yourself.
Yeah.
It, it's also interesting that both of you have had to step away from climbing at different stages in your life. Suma, you had you'd been climbing for a while, and then you had to step away to take care of your family. You raised a daughter, and I think you were away from it for about 12 years, and then you got back to it. Honestly, when I heard that, I was astounded because I think even a small gap of a few months makes such a drastic difference in your ability to do routes that you were earlier maybe flying up on, that it takes, I don't know what sort of effort to go back after such a long gap. So what took you back, and what did you manage to take your daughter along with you then?
Um, so I'm saying this to everybody. Whenever you think that something is not going well for you, just step back and wait. Be patient. You'll see why. Maybe that's a better way for you. So when I had my daughter, I could not go climbing, and so that's why but I had to be outdoors, do something, and that's how I came, started running and cycling, which I could just do it for an hour and get back home, but I didn't have to spend half a day going out climbing and coming. So it was because of her, in a sense, because I had to spend more time at home, that I could not continue climbing. But it was her interest to go climbing that got me back to climbing. So I just had to wait. And so BCI came out with the workshop, and I was mentioning it to her, and she said, "I want to try." And then I said, "Okay." And I took my pair of shoes to Suradi, and then I realized I still have a little bit in me, and from there on, yeah. But I haven't been climbing at all the way I used to. More because I haven't been able to give the time that it requires. I still can manage climb a few things, so I'm still very happy just being at the rocks with the crag. Yeah.
In our chat with each other, you mentioned that you're not a competitive person. And I think in climbing, especially, what happens is even if you're not competing with someone else, you definitely end up competing with yourself, right? Like, you end up setting these?
Absolutely. I compete with myself a lot, not with others. That's how it is. I have expectations from me, but I do not see somebody else what they are doing, and do I need to be at their level or otherwise. So yes, there is. You you pointed it out, right? I do have some competition in me, but only with my own self, and that kind of doesn't put too much of pressure on me in a sense. I will take my time to do. I still want to do certain things in climbing which I've done before, um, and do more. Uh, it might happen whenever. I will be patient. Like I got back to climbing, even that will happen sometime maybe. Yeah,
Amrit,
age
I'm
is not a
gonna.
number for it for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I'll
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll share a brilliant case study off the call, which had to do with basically discrediting age and capability in a good scientific way. So I'll share that with you for sure.
Hmm.
Amrit, your pause well came in a very tragic way. You went through your stacking accident, and um,
Yep.
honestly, when you get to know about something like that, I think there are two aspects to it. One is how debilitating it can be, and I think it's very hard for anyone to imagine the sort of strength it takes to just get back on your feet. And then you went ahead and got back into everything that you were doing prior to that. What reserves of, I don't know, mental strength did you have to go into to do all of that?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, getting back after injuries, like, sadly, like, kind of like right now as well, what's happening with me after a bunch of injuries. But a while ago, it was like also a lot of stuff, and I had to relearn how to do a lot of stuff. But I feel the sports I was doing is why I was able to get back because I wanted to have fun out there in the outdoors, like I was doing swimming and cycling and doing triathlons and long distance swimming and fishing and all of those things. And that's kind of I think how it motivated me. Like I know every time I start again, it's hard because a 1 kilometer feels like so hard. Like getting back to swimming is like, oh, and I'm easily doing 5K usually or something. So it's hard, but I think same like in climbing, you just get back after a while of break, and like right now, I was looking at it every day. I don't know if this is something that all of you have seen, but your layers come off, like the climbing layers off your hands and feet, like it all just goes away, and you just have this different soft skin that
Soft
comes back
skin.
completely, and you just can see it for weeks and weeks, or actually month, that oh, I'm not climbing at all, and I'm gonna have to like start from zero again. So it's a little hard, but yeah, I think being out there with the community and everyone, it's just fun to sit there as well. And yeah, I enjoy making anchors, so I guess that's what I'm going to do. Go out. And I love teaching, so I'm glad I can now slowly get back to walking and doing things. So yeah, that's, I guess, what keeps pushing me to go out and, not stop.
Sorry, I just had to because it's damn
Thanks.
hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, it's evident that your family is making you do a lot of dishes if the skin layers are coming off faster than they should be.
Well, technically, I'm a chef, so I have to clean the dishes too.
Well, since you mentioned teaching, there was something I discovered about you, Suma. We know that Amrit, of course, teaches, and I'll come to that. But Suma used to conduct workshops way back when, and I had no idea about this. Sohan actually pulled this one out from the hat, and I really wanted to know more because now, of course, Claw exists, and they are pioneers in their own right. But you were doing this when basically people weren't climbing, and then you were conducting these specifically for women. What was your vision then, and were you able to sort of achieve what you set out to?
lost you there, but um,
Do you
okay.
want me to
I think
repeat the question?
no. I think I got the gist of it. Um, it was part of the BCI initiative.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just that I was leading. It was not my idea, my own. It was not just me who thought of it in a sense. I just want to make that clear. Um, Lata was also part of it. I think we both, along with the rest of the BCI people, we kind of, I think, what was it called? Oh God, I forget now. Uh, I forget the name. It was a good fun name. Anyway, uh, there were some 30 odd women who turned up on that day tutorially, and we had all the men were supposed to be there because we wanted people to spot, and you know so it was really good fun, and to see how enthusiastically everybody was trying and giving all the effort and actually climbing a lot of routes. It was a lot of fun. I think just
So,
climbing is always a lot of fun. So anyway, yeah, and more women, even more better, I guess. Yeah,
but was
not
it
not
only
not
the
my idea at all. Huh.
but was that the only workshop, or did you have more follow-up workshops as well?
I, I I don't remember. I think that was one, and then I did not. I was not part of BCI for. I was there for a bit, and then I got out because I had other commitment that I had to, and I could not spend more time there. Um, Not very sure. I think I was part of that one. Yes, and then of course Claw has come up. It is taking it all so well, and amazing to see so many women going out and climbing, and yeah, I'm so happy that's come up.
And then Amrit is there, of course, who's almost like an institute unto himself. Amrit, why did you? Oh, come on. I mean, you know what I mean, na? You're like a one stand teacher,
Oh,
like that.
team
Yes.
effort.
Haha. Matlab, if I have to, if there's no one else, I'll be like, Amrit, I need help with this. Can you please teach? So, but what drew
Whatever
you
I know.
to? Yeah. So, what drew you to training at the start?
Um, I would say like initially it's the way I started climbing because
Mm-hmm.
the only other like a little bit of teaching that I ever saw was BCI online. And to be honest, I was never able to join. Like I did try to like come for a workshop, but times didn't match. And like of course, I would look at the systems and I'm like, I don't think I'm a climber yet. I need to become a climber, and then I need to go meet them. I can't go for intro workshop because I don't have the gear. Look at all the gear, and I'm like, overthinking it basically before I, you know. And even when I came to Bangalore, I was like, okay, now it's COVID. I can't meet them. So I feel like I just started teaching after I trained a lot, and I just wanted to perfect my system in in whichever category of small things I know, and just remember it as basically. And I like maybe it's from my experiences in the outdoor of maybe a crash and the incidents after that and all that. But I have this huge sense of not wanting anyone. Like, I got into a huge crash. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. Don't do that. Don't get injured. Right. So, like, I think that's where it comes from, where I'm like, oh, you need to learn this
Tell us a little
perfectly.
more about this crash, please, instead of bypassing it. What is this huge crash?
No, no, I was just in basically a cycling event called the Breve. It was a
Oh,
200
sorry,
kilometer
you're talking
race.
about that again. Sorry,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, yeah.
I thought you're talking
Yeah, that
about
one.
climbing related.
No, no, no. Oh, thankfully, I've not had any climbing related accidents like that. Um, like fortunate for sticking to the systems, I feel. But yeah, basically, I think that's how I slowly got into it. And I was teaching in the culinary space as well already, because like being in the culinary space and competing for competitions, it was fun. And sharing that knowledge was something I loved. And I felt it empowered people, giving them that knowledge base. And I think here, as I perfected and I am perfecting and learning, I just want to share whatever I am learning. And I think that's where I'm teaching from. Yeah, I think that's how I
You
got into
know,
it.
along with teaching, you're also involved in rescue efforts, right? And you did just talk about
Yeah.
avoiding big accidents, which are a reality of, well, anyone who's climbing, right?
Yeah.
What are maybe some of the most common mistakes you see, um, among climbers when you teach or when you're climbing along with them, which you think just absolutely need to be addressed so that people can avoid landing themselves into sticky situations? You can pick your top one or two pet peeves.
I think it's complacency and overconfidence, I would say. That would be the first one. Because the mistake starts at home, not even like when they're outside.
Mm-hmm.
As simple as um, I didn't pick up the correct rope or the correct rope length from home, and I didn't take my helmet. It's like small things like that. Or I went there, oh, my rope reaches the floor. I don't need to put a knot. It's okay. I mean, it's of course contextual, but
Of course.
small things like that sometimes. Another thing, like I see a lot of people, um, they never use a pressik. They're just like, it's such a small distance. I just don't need that. I'm okay. And they're the first one down. And then, yeah. So I think that's something. Complacency, you just get comfortable, too comfortable, and the fear goes away a little bit. Like fear is good in a particular way. I feel like you have to be like in that space, not just so comfortable that you just forget your system and you just take it for granted. And that's what caused a lot of accidents, I would say. And yeah, I've been involved in some few situations here and there across places. I don't really want to be there, but sometimes it's happened, and I've been fortunate to be able to help. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's the best part from it. Like um, one person that I really helped, and right after that, the look on that person's face, that patient's face when you reach them, knowing that, oh, I'm just stuck here, and then right after you have helped them and get them out of that whole space and situation, that look on their face and the sigh that they have, that I'm okay. you know there was someone, that feeling is very different, and I think that's why I do definitely want to help in whichever safest way I can. So yeah.
Suma, do you want to add something to that? Like in terms of, any errors you see? Like, for instance, I was climbing once, and uh, the person who was belaying me, it was the first time that I met that person, and it was through someone else I climb with regularly. So, you just sort of lend someone else your confidence because it also belongs to the other person that you're meeting them through, right? And anyway, I get stuck at this one point, and I was leading this route, and I just sort of looked down to tell this person, listen, give me a minute, I'm trying to work this out. And that's when I realized he's using a gree and his hands are off completely. And I was trying to weigh, I don't know, my options between yelling and hyperventilating and whatnot. And then he just said, your hands are not on the rope. It's like, yeah, it's a gree. So I got scarred for life. After that, I found myself in a different place completely. And I remember I spoke to, I called up Sohan then to ask if he knew anyone who climbed there. And he said, listen, just go and climb with new people. And I was like, I can't bring myself to. So I think some of these episodes can leave that sort of taste in your mouth.
Yeah, I think it's also a practice. Sorry, I'm just stepping in, Suma. Like a lot of times at crags, this happens to me. People take offense when I'm like, okay, hey, we're all meeting for the first time. Would you go on to run through the belay method that we're going to follow? Would you like show each other what anchors we're going to put up there? Maybe this is because it's like a larger group, but people take offense to show their anchor. Like, hey, this is what I'm going to be putting. This is the gear I'm putting in. Like for me, I would totally be happy having a backup belayer if it's the first time I'm belaying someone. Being like, hey, you can check me out, and then once you feel like it, I can, because it's not about me, it's
Yeah.
about them. So yeah, I think that's something.
Yeah, one of the things that comes to my mind also is there is a set route, you're supposed to do a line, and then you see a new one without actually analyzing that, especially if it's a trad route, even more so. And you find it easy, and trad routes usually they're so deceptive. Um, so I would say that was one other situation that I was in. I was climbing in one of the cracks, and there was a new Brit guy who had come and he wanted to climb, and he said, "Okay, we'll go." And there were a couple others who were doing some other route, and instead of going on he said he wants to go up this, and he went up about 6, 7 feet, and a whole big hole just came off, and we were on the first stage, and he fell down on my shoulder, and I felt like my neck was at my hips. Like that was, and then people came up, did the spine check and everything, and then, but that accident kind of took about 7, 8 years. During winters, my back used to be frozen, and it used to be really, really painful. Even now, certain parts, but it's much better. But then back then, I didn't know of physio. I didn't know what I should be doing. And first 3 days, like my mom and my sister would hold my hand to make me sit and make me lie down, and it was really bad. So especially trad and unknown routes when you're exploring, I think I'm sure if somebody else was there, they might have wanted to, check a little more. Maybe I should have done that too. I don't know. You were in that. So if you're looking at new routes, off from what you are planning to, a little more of, uh, yeah, not that I was right there, but yeah, shouldn't be happening like that, I guess. But I did learn lots from that.
Amit, one of the questions that was asked by, just a moment. Okay. Amit, one of the questions that was asked by the climbers in the community is, how can one earn money by working in the outdoors? Or how much can one expect to earn? You can laugh loudly, it's okay.
I mean, I think that's a very good question. However, I don't think I'm the perfect person to like answer that yet. Maybe in few years, but I think the first thing, like first layer to that question will be like perfecting a bunch of outdoor skills, and it varies. It's not just climbing only. It is of course climbing, and then there's guiding and mentoring, and then there is safety, which is first aid, wilderness first aid, and then there's search and rescue and preparedness, general preparedness. Once you're there, and then you are like a very good qualified individual, then you can definitely apply for jobs. And in India, there are very, I would say, guiding, like technical guiding isn't a thing. When you say guide, everyone thinks of it as a person who takes you up on treks or
Yeah.
walks with you in the forest as a mentor or someone for the day. That's what they look at as guides. But usually, if you go to any other place and you hire a guide, it's a learning day. They're your teacher for that day and there to teach you whatever you want and keep you safe and take you up on a project or a kind of climb or activity, whatever kind of activity you would like to for that day. So yeah, like getting yourself into that sort of a guiding system, you definitely have to start in another country because India is still growing up to that. But yeah, there are a lot of different avenues in the northern region of India. Southern region is still catching up, I would say, in terms of guiding and trekking, in terms of government officials. I have been fortunate enough to work with a couple of state governments for different projects, teaching courses and other things. And same, like all those are basically like paid outdoor work. But again, it's so niche. It's very niche, and
Yeah.
the volume is very less. So banking on just that is a little hard. Yeah, I think that is like my take. Yeah.
No, so in case of the state government gigs, for instance, did they get in touch with you or did you
Yeah.
pursue them?
No, they got in touch with me.
Which means that you would have to make some sort of an online presence felt, right? Because for them to be aware that you exist.
Yeah, I think it's in the community. Like as you keep doing, see, for me, I pursue it as a passion and I keep going opening routes. Like in Kerala, I've put up a lot of routes and there's no one who climbs there on those routes. I know the handful of small climbers, but no one goes on those routes and climbs there. Like I'm the one who goes there. Like now I haven't been there, suppose for a year, there's no one gonna go there for a year, you know?
I'll bring a whole group of climbers from Bombay, I promise.
Sure. Sure. Yes, please. So yeah. But basically like the courses are also going towards adventure activities. So if you
Mm-hmm.
see, there are a lot of adventure parks are coming up and adventure activities, zip lines, different, like the most recent, which is the dining on a high rise crane structure, which is like an adventure space. Then there's bungee adventure parks with zip lines and all that. So those are multiplying. The volume is going really big right now. So operators in those space that is the avenue that right now people are training. Governments are working to train and make them more qualified and much more comfortable and safer, not just the safety norms. So that is another space that you can definitely get certified and go to work into. Then, of course, there is in India, IRATA is picking up quite a bit. There is a small community of arborism also, which is
Mm-hmm.
another avenue of adventure and money generation. These are all niches, though. So yeah, I think
And I think this is a lot of improvisation as well, because anyone who asked that question would not have thought about arborism for sure. Like, they're probably just thinking, I run my own, I don't know, outdoor activity sort of theme.
yeah, I mean the activity is seen as there, like where you're taking people out for a day and stuff. That is definitely a money making model. However, like a lot of corporate programs, a lot of teaching, and proper guiding. Like once I would say the infrastructure also catches up with all private groups working with government, then it'll be much more like feasible and much more safer for everyone to climb and do other sports. Like there's canyoneering that's still coming up, caving, cave
Hmm.
diving. There's a whole bunch of things coming up as well. Slowly, there are pockets here and there. Yeah.
So I'm asking you the next question. Aware that things are very difficult for you, because I know that you walk a tough road as far as your profession is concerned, and from one improviser to another. Have you ever been in a place where you've actually had to worry about where your next meal is coming from? I have, which is why, that's why I said from one improviser to another. When you don't have a constant paycheck, you do land yourself in those sort of sticky situations. So has that ever happened to you?
Definitely, it's hard. Like, I mean, when I worked in corporate, like with hotels, it was like fun. I used to be a chef. I used to enjoy the work, and you have a paycheck every month. But it was really hard to step away from that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but now I do try to step into both whenever I want to, a little bit. And the remaining time, I try to train because for me to be good at my craft, I need to train on my own. So doing my own personal projects and keeping time in the year aside for just that, like even if it means compromising on some work projects during that time, because the season is so short, so we have to do it. So it's like you save the whole year and then you go and just throw it on a mountain. But I see it as learning, very like heartfelt crying and like emotional learning. But I think it's an investment in myself over the time. So maybe in 5 years, my skills will get better because of that investment in myself. So that's how I look at it.
Suma, how much are you able to invest in yourself in the same way, considering that you're not able to climb as much, but you're also, aspiring to get back to climbing the grades that you were, and you still want to keep doing new things in this space?
Um, Now that I am not working, but I'm spending more time to work on my farm, and which means I have a little more time. My daughter is grown up. I don't have to specifically do anything for her, but I have my mom-in-law, other old people. So there is still a lot of things that needs to be done, but everybody is grown up now. Kind of independent, but need to be around, so which gives me a lot more time to be outdoors as long as I'm close by enough to come back if required. So right now, I don't have an issue. It's just me having to do the thing that needs to be done. So yeah, I have no complaints. I
I
can't be
think
cribbing about time or any other. I just need to do it.
also, I think as the wisest amongst the three of us, the climbers have chosen you to ask what advice you would give to older climbers out there. Their words, not mine, huh?
Okay. No, I mean, I'm very happy to give advice to older, to younger, to everybody. Why not? Um, I think the first thing that comes to my mind is not just about older, but anyone. Do at least 1 hour of some kind of workout every day to keep yourself fit. So when you think of a project that you want to, you're not starting from scratch. So this is something I believe, and uh, which kind of helps if I want to do something. If I see something interesting, I need to. Even if I'm not doing anything else, I make sure I'm either doing yoga or go for a run or go cycling or go to the gym or whatever, go climbing, go for a hike. I'm sure there are options for people. So just go do that so that when you think of you want to do something, you can take it up from there. If it is climbing specific and you want to do better, be consistent in your climbing. In the sense, go there, invest at least minimum 2 days in a week. More is at least 3 days would be better, but minimum 2 days out there climbing for you to get better. Um, Keep yourself fit, be happy. Yeah, I think that's one of the main thing. And in terms of climbing, if you're wanting to do higher grade, I think start concentrating on your technique, the way you, um, your footwork more to go do better on higher grade, I guess. So those are some of the things I would.
Amrit, uh, another climber had asked, is there any particular order that one should pursue when they're learning different types of climbing?
I mean, definitely, like if you're talking about the whole bracket, then like definitely start with rock climbing, and in that you can definitely start with bouldering, and in ropes if you are, then top rope, and learn sport climbing, and uh, move forward from that, like top roping, and then lead climbing if you feel like leading, and then you go into like your rappel systems and exits and anchoring and all that. Once you perfected all of that, and you feel like you want to push more or learn more, then you slowly get into a multi-pitch or a single pitch, with like a couple of pitches, basically, not huge multi-pitches. And this is all on rock. And then after you've perfected your multi-pitch systems, then you can move into longer walls, like longer multi-pitches. And then you go into the other disciplines, which is ice and then snow and then mountaineering and then alpine rock or big wall, and so on. You keep pushing that level. But I think starting off to perfect your craft at rock is the easiest, because you're not battling all the other elements as well. It's heat you're battling for sure, but yeah, not the cold. I mean, it's really hard to like climb in like minus with when your fingers are freezing and you're touching the rock and you know that this is sharp. I need to be aware, or I'll just slip my hand up. So yeah, I think
And
yeah.
how much of this order were you able to follow when you started climbing? I thought it was very funny that they were asking this question of you.
Well, the order, I don't boulder.
Bouldering.
Yeah, I don't boulder, but that's also because like I boulder if it's a crack, but physically I'm not able to boulder that much because of my arm. So my right arm's like after my accident. So that's one of the main reasons I don't boulder, because of my reduced strength in my right arm. But yeah, all the other like climbing is, I did go into mountaineering maybe a little quick. Yeah, one of my first mountains was my first mountain, and it was like it was a big mountain. Yeah, it was a 6,000er. So yeah, but I already had perfected my other crafts like ice and rock technique, anchoring, all of that. So it transitioned straight away to it, and I was comfortable on rock at 6,000 meters, so that was okay. So yeah, it was fun, and I couldn't do it without my team and BCI and learning from everyone here. So I think it was the community that really taught me to get into all those disciplines hand in hand. So yeah.
Also as someone who does mountaineering, this is just like a complete A side, but how do you feel about this entire hierarchy between mountaineering, where it definitely gets the higher respect because there's a certain altitude associated with it, as opposed to, let's say, rock climbing, where maybe you're battling something far more technical, but just because it's not as high and it's not, I don't know, maybe the elements involved are slightly lesser, one gets overshadowed by the other.
A little bit. Yeah. Uh, yeah. I mean, is it like what I think about that hierarchy or like?
Yeah, what do you think about that hierarchy?
I feel that we should all understand and educate each other about the difference in commercial climbing
Mm-hmm.
versus like when athletes or individuals or teams climb a mountain themselves. It's a huge difference. It's like when a self-supported team goes on a trek versus a organized commercial trek. There's a huge difference. Um, so I feel that is something that we need to educate ourselves all about, so that it is we don't get into this false sense of safety, I would say, which leads into some accidents sometimes. Because someone who has done 40 or 50 commercial treks might feel themselves that they are an experienced trekker, which can lead to a mistake when they go on an actual trek, maybe on an exploration or something. But if they are regularly going on treks in their groups, planning everything, doing everything themselves, then they will already have certain know-how of tackling elements and being planned and prepared. And we call it the possibility bag. So your bag has
Mm-hmm.
to be ready for possibilities. So that is there. But on a commercial, it is different. Like you just don't see that side because you're just used to it. I think that's the way. And mountaineering, same. Commercial mountaineering is very different from actually climbing as a team and going up the mountain. For It's definitely like a marathon. It's like an ultra marathon on the mountain. It's really hard. But when you add the technicality and the gear and the planning and the logistics to it, it multiplies. And altitude is not a joke. Mountains don't forgive. Mountains are going to be there all the time, but they don't forgive. So yeah, try to train before you go up.
And it's Suma's all this now. All right, Suma, uh, last one. What is your favorite part about climbing?
My favorite part of climbing,
Climbing.
um, just being out there in the places that we have the route, one, and the community, of course, because that's what makes it so much more interesting. Uh, and yeah, I think just, I mean, even if there's nobody, I Surali used to be so close by for me that if there's nobody, I would just climb. And then when we used to climb, there was no crash pad, so I didn't even know about crash pads. So I just used to take my shoe and jog back and then go, and I would just go and climb and come back. Sad that it's closed now, but uh, yeah, I think I just love that whole space of um, the 12 years that I didn't climb. I didn't realize how much I missed. And once I went back now, even if I don't climb, I am there. Uh, like he said, trail run. I don't know. I'll find some reasons to go there. So yeah, I just love being there.
And is there anything about climbing that you dislike?
Nothing. There is nothing that I dislike at all. I can't think of one.
I hate
Hard
long
route.
runouts. Come on, Suma. Give us something. I hate long
No,
runouts until I've flipped it again. I'm like,
no, I hate hard routes because then I can't lead it, which only means I need to train for it, right? So what do I hate about it, or what do I not like about climbing?
all right.
I don't know. I guess I look at it that I have to
Um,
work on more. That's it.
Maybe for me, it's
I'm getting
not
life
having enough
lessons
gear.
from Suma. Sorry, what?
Sorry?
No, no, I'm saying for me, it's the feeling there's not enough gear. Even though you have a lot of gear, you're like, oh, you need that. I need more gear. I don't have enough. It's like you need more gear.
You should remember we came from that era where there was no gear. So for me,
Exactly.
any gear is more gear. So
Exactly. I know.
I can't even talk about that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, you're just like, oh, I need that one thing more. And I'm just like, no, 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 don't get it.
And this is
Yeah.
Yeah.
probably when Amrit has two ropes on him while climbing. So,
Well, 60-meter rappels.
yes.
Better than 30.
Mm.
And what's your favorite part about climbing, Amrit?
I think it's the puzzle and being up there and like looking around. I love looking behind and looking down. Like when I look from the anchor stations and I look around and I see the majestic, you know, the beauty and how it just feels up there. It just is so cool. And then it's the puzzle. I love the puzzle of building anchors and solving it together. Yeah, it's really fun building anchors. I remember a time long ago when me and Sohan used to climb in Yadamadu and he used to be like, no, I'll build the anchor, I'll build the anchor. And then yeah, it was super cool. And then we would build different anchors at the same place, the same things. I'd be like, oh, why did you do that there? Why did you do that there? So yeah, it was super cool to learn from Sohan. Yeah.
I hope you were clipped somewhere when those multiple anchors were being built.
Yes, yes.
Well, all right, guys.
Safety first. Supriya is making sure of it.
Yes. We all know how carried away some people can get when they get talking about systems and well, just in general. For all one might get a cup of coffee over there at the top of the route and be like, I'd like to examine this closer. I'm not taking names. All right, guys. Thank you so much. This was a lot of fun and very enlightening. And thank you, everyone, for joining in. It was very nice to have you all over here. And yeah, do we have any questions from the people who are here? You guys can probably type in something. Just thought I'd quickly check before we officially call it a close. We've got a lot of good listeners. All right, guys. Then thank you so much, and we will be putting this up shortly. Shivani and team will keep you all updated about when this goes up on YouTube. And yeah, good night.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Bye.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.